In this video, I'm going to be providing a full user training tutorial on Salesforce CRM. I'll be going over accounts, contacts, leads, opportunities, cases, and a number of different features inside of the Salesforce system. So if you are new to Salesforce or you are just wanting to learn a little bit more about the system, this is the perfect video for you. I've chaptered this video, so you're more than welcome to skip ahead to any specific part of the system you would like to learn. Welcome to the channel. My name is Nick. Thank you ever so much for giving this video a watch. Hopefully it will be of value to you. Just before we get into the video, if you need any help with Salesforce setup or training, please check out my website below. We'd be delighted to help. So without further ado, let's get straight into the video. So once you log into your Salesforce system, of course, you will come to the home screen. As you can see, we are on the home screen now, and this is showing us a number of different components, and on each component, a completely different piece of data. Now, this is a very useful screen, in my opinion, as it allows us to see all the key information that we would need straight away, immediately when we log into the system. Now, each component we can engage with, as you can see here, this is our sales pipeline. We've got revenue source or potential revenue source, and we've got the different types of sources. We've got today's tasks, today's events, recent records. So these are records or essentially files that you've recently engaged with, and I'll go into detail on all of this throughout the video. We've also got, as you can see, recent opportunities, and we've got some assistant information as well. As you can see, opportunities overdue, so it's like a reminder. Now, bear in mind, depending on who you are inside of the system as a user, your home screen may look vastly different. This is set up for a sales operative or a salesperson. If you are in support or marketing or case management, account management, it's all going to look very different, and the home screen setup will be different. But it's very, very useful, like I said, to see key information as soon as you log into your Salesforce system. Now, up the top here, we have our navigation bar, and we can navigate to different areas of the system, and each area is called an object. Okay, so if you hear me referring to an object, that is essentially a different area inside of the Salesforce system, and we just use our navigation bar up the top to get to each different area. Now, I'm just going to follow along the list here, so I'm going to head over to leads now. So all you need to do is just press the leads button. Now, as you can see here, we have got our leads inside of the Salesforce system. Just in case you do not see your leads, you may need to change the view. So if you go to the top left-hand corner here where it says all open leads, or it might say a different view for you, in most cases it will say recently viewed. If you use the drop-down menu and just select all open leads and then pin this list, so when you pin the view, essentially every time you come onto the leads area, you will see this view. If I change it to recently viewed and then press the pin button, move away and then come back, you can see that this particular view has been pinned and will always stay the same. So you can change the view and then pin it. This will be a recurring theme throughout the video, so just bear that in mind, and you'll probably have to change the view. Now, let me firstly introduce you to leads. What exactly are leads? Now, the way I describe leads it's like a bit of a dumping ground, okay? Leads inside of our Salesforce system allow us to track potential business that we're not certain is going to be business, but there is a chance that it could become business. So what you do is, let's say someone emails in asking about a product or service, or maybe you meet someone at a trade show and you're having a conversation with them, you catch their details, and then you think it would be worth recording them as a lead, doing a bit of engagement with them, and then seeing if they are actually interested in your product or service. So what we would do is, let's say we meet someone at a trade show and we have a conversation with them and they show a small bit of interest in the products that we offer. What we would do is we would want to create a new lead. So we come over to our leads area, press the new button up the top right hand corner here, and then we would go ahead and fill in their relevant information. So the lead status is likely to be new, but I will show you the lead status in another format in a moment's time. And then we can change the salutation, so just enter in the basic information. So I'm going to enter in my information, and then there we go, 01494256996, and then company CRM crew, Nick at crmcrew.co.uk, and then director rating, so you can rate your lead as well. So is it a hot lead, warm lead, a cold lead? And you can enter in their address information, additional information as well. So if we change the lead source to a trade show, for example, so we know that we've captured their very, very basic information. We know their company, we know their name, their contact details, we've got their phone and their email. And we can add as much additional information as we can find. Now, the purpose of leads is not to capture in-depth information. It's just to capture the basics. Sometimes when you're creating a lead, you may not even have the right information or enough information yet. So you would then do a bit of research to find additional information for that lead and get in touch with them that way. So you may just have their name. You might not even have their email yet. So once you're happy with your new lead, go ahead and press the save button. We've now created a new lead record. And as you can see, we've got all their captured information here, but this is the stages, and this is essentially the pipeline. And with a lead, we want to work from the new stage all the way to the converted and qualified stage for our leads. So we start off as new, and then maybe we drop them an email just to say, "Hi Nick, it was great to catch up at this particular trade show. I was just wondering if you were interested in our product or service." And then you can mark that as your current status, and then you'd obviously work through. And then they get back to you and say, "Hi, thanks for getting in touch. This product definitely seems of some interest. Maybe we could have a brief discussion on the phone." So then you'd select their status as working, then you can mark that as the current status. And then when you have a phone call on the phone, you either qualify or unqualify your lead. So if you find out that they are the right business, they're a suitable client or suitable potential client, they've got money, you know your service or product is going to help them out, then you can qualify them. Or you may unqualify them. You deem that they are, they haven't got the money to spend, or they would not benefit from your product or service, etc. Then you just unqualify your lead. So you'd be capturing all this information and obviously working through each of the different stages. Your stage pipeline may look different if it's been custom designed to your business, so just bear that in mind, but the principle remains the same. And then on the actual record itself, we can mark and log activities. So we can log a phone call if we would like to, we can log emails, and we can send emails from the system provided that's been set up. We can create new tasks and new events as well. So any communication with that particular lead can be tracked, managed. It allows everyone else to see what's going on with the lead and ensure it's moving in the right direction. And we also have chatter here as well. So this is where you can post information about this particular lead to other users inside of the Salesforce system. So it's very similar to a Slack channel. You just have a stream of communication between yourself and other people on the system. So this is basically leads, and you'd obviously work through all the way to hopefully converted. Now, once you get to the converted stage, you've essentially qualified them. You've identified that the chance of them buying from you is significantly greater. They might actually become business now. Then you go ahead and press select converted status. But just before we do this, I want to warn you, this is not the sales pipeline. This is the leads pipeline. I will come on to the sales pipeline later on in this video, but I want to be absolutely clear. This is not a closed won or closed lost pipeline, okay? So press select converted status, and then the system is going to go ahead and create an account, a contact, and an opportunity. And I'm going to come on to what each of these are in a moment throughout this video. So an account is going to be created, a new contact will be created, and a new opportunity. Once you're happy, go ahead and press the convert button, and then that will convert from a lead to an account, a contact, and an opportunity based on the information that we'd entered in when we created our lead. So if I now press the exit button, you can see here that lead has now left. The other leads that are on this page, you can go ahead and click on, and you can move through the different stages of the lead pipeline. You can obviously add and update additional information as you so wish. But that is essentially the leads area. Very, very useful. So we've now qualified and converted our lead into an account, a contact, and an opportunity. So let's now move on to the accounts area. Accounts are essentially businesses. So any business that you engage with, you would create an account. So you can see here we've got CRM Crew, which is my business. We've got Trail Expert, Trail Ranger. These are all made up businesses, but an account is literally just a business. It's not contacts, it's not sales, it's just a business inside of your Salesforce system. So to create a new account, you just press the new button, just like on the leads area, and you go ahead and enter in information about the particular account. So their phone, the account name, so the name of the business, their fax, if anyone uses fax. We can add a parent account. So if they are a child account or subsidiary of a larger organization, you can make a relationship between the two. You can create or add a website. We can add the type of account, so whether an analyst, competitor, customer. And what I recommend doing is adding every account your business is associated with inside of your Salesforce system. A lot of businesses seem to think that they should only add their sales prospects or their account, like the sales opportunities. I strongly believe you should add every single account that your business works with. Whether you buy from them or sell to them, you should add them in and add the contacts. The reason being is it gives that information or it makes that information available to everyone inside of the business. So it's definitely very, very useful. So let's go through. We'll add, we can select our type, of course. We can add the number of employees. We can enter in their industry, the annual revenue. We can add a description of the business, their billing address and shipping address. And then you go ahead and press the save button and that would create a new account. But I'm just going to exit out and go on to CRM Crew, which is the account that was created when we converted from a lead to an account, a contact and an opportunity. So like I said, it's just a business. We can see here we've got the details. So we could go ahead and add the website, www.crmcrew.co.uk, and then you go ahead and press the save button and update information as you go along. The more information you have on every single account, obviously the better. It's important to collect as much information as you possibly can. Now, everything really stems from the accounts area. So for every contact, there will be an account. So a contact is an individual. It is one person, and I'll explain that in more detail in a moment. But a contact is one individual inside of an organization. So every contact will always be associated with an account. And then we will have opportunities. Now, again, I'll come on to that in this video, but opportunities are essentially your sales pipeline. And you can have multiple opportunities associated again with an account. Remember, Salesforce, like every CRM system, is a relationship-based system. So there will be relationships between the opportunities and accounts, between the contacts and accounts, and so on and so forth. We also have cases. Like I said, I will come on to that as well. And cases is support management, resolving questions or answering questions, resolving issues that your customers may have. And then we've got notes and files as well. So you will be able to click through and you can see all the contacts associated with the account. You can see all of the opportunities associated with the account. You can see any cases, any notes and files as well. So the account is where a lot of the information will reach back to, it all connects back to the account area, because obviously the account is the business. So hopefully you are now familiar with accounts inside of Salesforce. If we move on from accounts, we'll head over to contacts. And like I said, it's exactly what it says on the tin. Contacts are people, they are individuals. You can see Nick Boardman, who works for CRM Crew, and the phone number and his phone number and his email address. Again, if you want to create a new contact as opposed to converting from a lead to an account, a contact and an opportunity, you can do that. So let's say they're an existing contact and you wanted to add someone else, just press the new button and go through their information. So their salutation, first name, last name, you'd have to connect them to an account. You got their mobile, their phone, their email, their title. You can add who their boss is, who they report to, their mailing address, any other address information, additional information as well if you need. So their birth date, for example, if you want to send them a present. And you've got key information like this that can be recorded and then associated back to the account. So the more you could have lots and lots and lots of different contacts all associated with one business. So please do bear that in mind. Now, if we head over to the opportunities area, this is our sales area of our Salesforce system. This is where you're going to do your selling, and you will move from stage to stage of your sales process to eventually and hopefully close your sale as won, or unfortunately lost, as the case may be. So you can see here we can create a new opportunity, but I'm just going to go ahead and click onto the opportunity that was created when we converted the lead. So if I go to CRM Crew, you can see here we now have our sales stage, and hopefully you see what I mean by the difference between the leads and the opportunities. The leads is just qualifying, and there's no good having unqualified leads inside of your opportunities area, because the 9 times out of 10 you're going to lose that business, and it's going to affect your close ratio and things like that. It will skew the data. So this is where we have our different stages. You see here qualification, example stage. That is a stage from a previous video that I did. We've got proposal, negotiation, and then closed, and that's where we set our closed won or closed lost. Now, of course, as you move through the different stages, the probability of the sale increases. You can add the amount, so how much is the sale? So let's say 10,000. Then we can press the save button. Again, we can select the type, so is it existing business or new business? Again, press the save button. We can update as we go along. We know that our lead, or this particular lead, or now opportunity, has come from our trade show. We can add a description, the next steps as well, and again, just like on leads and all of the others, accounts and contacts, we can log activity. We can see the chatter about this particular opportunity, and nicely we can see the stage history as well, so we can see when it started, when it got changed, when the stages were moved across through the different stages. So if I move to proposal / price quote and then mark as current stage, this will automatically update, and we'll see the updated stage. And that is essentially what it is. As you can see, you start qualified. You know that this opportunity has been qualified. They've got money. The product will be useful to them. And then it's a case of maybe you book a meeting, and then you have a meeting with them, and then you send over a proposal / price quote. They come back to you saying, "Oh, we don't want to pay this price. We might be happy with this. Can you do this for us as well?" Blah, 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 blah. I'm sure you're all familiar with how it goes. So then you get to negotiation and review, and you mark that as the current stage. As you can see, the probability increases. And then eventually, and fingers crossed for everyone, we get to closed. We can select our closed stage. We get to the drop down menu, and this is where we can decide between closed won or closed lost. Fingers crossed, always going to be closed won. And then we just press the save button. We get this nice animation across the screen here that we've won a new sale, and that is then added to the revenue data that I'll come on to in the dashboards and the reports, and obviously that is now a closed won sale. So again, with the opportunities, you get your contacts, your cases, and things like that. And then if we click back to the opportunities area, you'll see that this particular stage is now closed won. And then if we change the stage, we can go from recently viewed to all opportunities, and we see all of the opportunities and all of their different stages and the probability of that particular opportunity being won. So that is the opportunities. That is the sales area of Salesforce. Please don't get confused between leads and opportunities. This is where you will manage all of your opportunities. Now, there is one thing I want to show you on the opportunities area that I am a massive fan of. If we go to the view here and use the drop down menu, this is a display as option, and we get 3 options. We get table, Kanban, and split view. Now, I'm a massive fan of the Kanban view. If I go ahead and select it, essentially what this allows us to do is see our different stages and then each of the records and each stage, and we can drag and drop the record from one stage to the next, as opposed to having to click into the record, update it all manually, and then click out, and you can't visualize it. I find that this is a far more visual way of assessing your leads, what stage they're at, what's going on, and it's just a case of dragging and dropping and keeping on top of everything really, really easily. The other view option is the split view, and this is where you get a split on the left hand side, and you can just click into each one. This is again slightly more useful, makes it easier to click between the different records as opposed to clicking all the way in. You can see all the records or opportunities on the left, and then you can see their information on the right hand side. Now, this is applicable to all of the different objects or areas inside of your Salesforce system. So if we head over to accounts and use the drop down menu, you will have a table, Kanban, and a split view. Now, Kanban is only useful when there are different stages, but the split view can be applied to all of them. If we go to the leads area and then go to Kanban view, you can see the lead stages, and you can again drag and drop to the different stages as you so wish. So that's hopefully opportunities. Hopefully you are now familiar with opportunities inside of your Salesforce system. Now let's head over to the cases area. So if we go to cases, this is essentially the case management, case resolution area of your Salesforce system. So anytime your client has a question or a problem with your product, you would create a case and then you would see it through the different stages to resolve the case as quickly and efficiently and effectively as you possibly can. Now, if I just use the drop down menu here, as you can see, we're on recently viewed, just go to all cases and then pin. This is all of our sample cases inside of our Salesforce system. Now, in order to create a new case, again, it's a very simple process. We just need to press the new button. We can go ahead and search the contact that this particular case is associated with. So maybe Nick Boardman has emailed in to say, I have a question about how to use this product. So you'd select, okay, Nick has emailed. The account he is associated with is obviously CRM Crew. You can add his email address there that he has emailed in on if you'd like to. And then you just need to add some additional information. So the type, is it a problem, a feature request, or a question? You can of course add more. There may be different options for your custom Salesforce system. We've got case origin as well. So did they email? So we said that they emailed in. Let's say he's got a problem. The case reason is user didn't attend training, complex functionality, existing problem, instructions not clear, new problem. So let's go with new problem. And then we can select the priority. So is it low, medium, high, critical? Of course, you can assess this on the value of the client. So let's say Nick Boardman is one of our top clients. We want to jump on this, get this resolved as quickly as we possibly can. And then we need to add description information. So what's the subject? So struggle with issue X. And then you add a description, this is what's going on, blah, 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 and then you can add internal comments as well. So once you've created your new case, just press the save button. So as you can see, we've got case details, contact details, we've got the subject, we have got different stages as well. We've got the feed where we can log emails, log calls, manage the posts, the chatter area. We've got the updates, so emails, call logs, text posts, status changes, and we've got some details, some further information as well. And then on the right hand side, we've got this thing called a knowledge area. Now, let me briefly touch on the knowledge area now. I'm not going to go into too much detail in this video, but knowledge is essentially where you can answer questions and log them inside of your Salesforce system. So let's say you've got a large team of support staff and they've never come across this problem before. They could search in the knowledge area. It's kind of like an internal Google, and they could search in the knowledge area and then maybe find a similar problem and then use the answer to the similar problem to try and close this particular problem. I hope that makes sense. It's essentially kind of like an internal Google, but you have to add the knowledge in, so someone has to write that information in. Okay, so we've got our case, and then obviously we'd move through the different stages of the case. So let's say the case is now open, we can mark as current status, and then we can go to pending, and then hopefully we need to get every single case to closed, and obviously question answered, problem resolved, feature request being dealt with. So if it's a feature request, it might just be in pending, and then or it might move to escalated because they're going to do the feature request, and then we can close it. So we can close off that particular case eventually, which is what we want to achieve. Now, if we go back to cases, you can see here all of the different cases. You can see that we've just closed one, so it's been ticked off, and all of the new cases are open. So if you're in support, this is what you're going to be using a lot. You can see the priority. You can filter by priority if you'd like to, so just click on it. So you can see all the critical, high, medium, and low. Jump on everything as quickly as you possibly can. And then get problems resolved. So it's exactly the same as the other areas inside of the system. You just click on that particular case that you want to look at. You again can use the different display as options. So you've got table, Kanban, and split view. Now, moving on from the cases area, we have got tasks. Tasks are very, very obvious. We can create tasks inside of our Salesforce system to do things. So we've got the different views. Again, if you just change that accordingly, we can create a new task, what the task would be, so we can assign it to someone else inside of the Salesforce system. We can add the account it's related to and the contact it's related to. we just add a subject as well. So is it a call? Let's say call Nick. It's been assigned to Nick Boardman in relation to CRM crew, and the contact is Nick Boardman. I know that's a little bit confusing. Hopefully or let's say call Paul, for example. And then we've got comments, so we could just add some comments. Can you call Paul with regards to this issue X? And then we add a due date, so this needs to be done on Monday. We can set a task reminder, so reminder set, the date and the time that you get the reminder. And then we can set the status, so the task is not started, in progress, completed, waiting on someone else, or deferred. And then we can select a priority as well. And then just press the save button. You've created a new task. As you can see, it should be here. If I just press the refresh button, there we go. So now that new task has appeared, we can click onto it, and then we can mark as completed. We can edit comments, change the date, change the status as well. So then if I click back, you can see that the status has been completed. So tasks is really, really easy. The benefit with tasks is obviously that we associated that task with our account and our contact. So if I head back over to our accounts and then go to CRM crew, and we can go to our tasks related area, we'll be able to see on the right hand side that we have a call Paul task that has now been completed. So that's why having tasks inside of Salesforce is very, very useful. Now moving on from tasks, we have our calendar. Now the calendar is just a case of adding events into the calendar. I'm sure you're all very familiar with how a calendar works. We've got we can switch between the months. We can go to today, we can refresh it. We've got the drop down menu where we can see day, week, month and availability. So the calendar can also be synced with your Google Calendar or Microsoft Calendar, and you can set up a two-way sync, so it transfers data from your Google Calendar to Salesforce and then Salesforce to your Google Calendar. And you can create new events, just press the new event button. You can assign it, so assign it to someone, search in relation to the account, the contact, the subject, what type of event it is, whether it's private, the start date, the end date, the location, show time as busy, out of office or free, and also add a description for the event. So if I just do example event, assign it to myself in relation to CRM crew, and then the name Nick Boardman, and then I will say that it's going to start on the 27th of May at 12 and finish at 1. And it is, I'll leave the location, you might put Zoom for example, you could just add a Zoom link. And then just press the save button, and you can see here that the example event has now been added, and we can see the additional information. So we can hover over it and just press more details. And then if you want to, as opposed to pressing the new event, just click on a date, you can then go ahead and add the information. So it would add it for the 24th of May or whichever date that you go ahead and select. So that is the calendar inside of your Salesforce system. Moving on from calendar, we now have the reporting functionality. Now reports are obviously very, very useful. If you go onto the left hand side, you can see recent, created by me, private reports, public reports and all reports. Just head over to the all reports area. Salesforce generates quite a few just off the bat that we don't have to create ourselves. So you can see here we've got open leads by owner, open pipe by owner, opportunities audit, opportunity pipeline, and then you can click on the particular report and it will generate that information for you. So it will give you reporting feedback. So you can see here that we've got £210,000 in our opportunities pipeline at the moment. You can see a breakdown of stage, the actual opportunity itself, and the value of each opportunity as well. So you can see CRM crew is currently at the example stage and we are at £10,000 value for that particular opportunity. So this is reporting. It's very, very useful. I'm not going to go into great detail in this video because there's so much power with reporting. This video could go on forever. I think I'm going to create a video, standalone video on how to create reports inside of Salesforce. Because it's unbelievably powerful. But the reporting options that Salesforce provides automatically are very, very useful. Also, if you are part of a team and you've just joined your Salesforce system, but other people have been using the system, I'm sure reports have already been set up that you can go ahead and utilize. So you'll be able to see the public reports, and down here you can see reports that have been shared with you as well, and you can just use those reports. So if you're having to create your own, watch out for a Salesforce video on how to create reports. And obviously, if you are just joined a team, you'll have the option to see any reports that have been shared with you. So if we now move over to the dashboards inside of your Salesforce system, we'll go to dashboards here. Now, dashboards are not too dissimilar from reports. Essentially, it's just a more visual way at looking at the data inside of our Salesforce system. So on the left-hand side, we've got the recent dashboards created by me, private dashboards, all dashboards, the folders and the favorites as well. So it's exactly the same as reports inside of your Salesforce system. So if we go to all dashboards, we only have 3 that Salesforce automatically generate. However, if you inside of the system have created your own dashboards or you've had dashboards shared with you, you'll be able to see them here. Now, to generate a dashboard, just click on that particular dashboard. You can refresh the dashboard at any time. So if I go ahead and press the refresh button, and this will calculate obviously the opportunity pipeline set to close this quarter. So we've got £210,800 to close. You can see where the opportunities have come from, or the leads created, their lead source. Their leads converted to opportunities, the number of people. But of course, we can customize this and we can create our own dashboards to show us the exact information that we would like to see from our dashboard. So it's very, very useful, very, very powerful. Again, like reports, I might do a video on how to create dashboards inside of your Salesforce system. So do watch out for that. But dashboards, just like I said, just like another not too dissimilar way of looking at your data inside of your Salesforce system. And then moving on from your dashboards, we then have campaigns. Now, campaigns inside of your Salesforce system are essentially your marketing campaigns. So let me go ahead and create a new campaign. If we go ahead and press the new button, we can select the status. So what is the status of our campaign? Is it in progress, completed, aborted, or planned? Give it a name. So I'm just going to call this example campaign just for the sake of the video. We can select if it's an active campaign or is not yet active, the type of campaign. So advertisement, email, telemarketing. I'm sure you get the idea now. So let's do like a referral program campaign. And then if we are doing a campaign within a campaign, we can select the parent to it as well. So that's just a lookup to another campaign inside of your Salesforce system. You can add a description for your campaign, the start dates. Let's say we are going to start on the 30th. We are going to end our campaign on the 3rd. And then expected revenue, so let's say 10,000. Budgeted cost in campaign, so let's say 1,000. And then obviously we all know how it goes. Let's say 1,500 is the actual cost. And then we can select our number of cents. So is this obviously emails, this could be letters, this could be phone calls, and then you could select your expected response. So what is your response or anticipated response from your campaign? Now, the great thing about campaigns is once you press the save button, you will then be able to see all the opportunities that are connected with this particular campaign. So if we head back to our opportunities area and go to the CRM crew opportunity that we were on earlier, we can go to the campaigns and we can associate this particular opportunity with a campaign. So what that then allows us to do is we know where our opportunities are coming from. So if we have a successful campaign, so once you head back to the campaign area, you can then see all the opportunities associated with that particular campaign. So you can see if that campaign did well and created a lot of opportunities, or didn't do so well because it didn't create as many opportunities. That might not necessarily be the purpose of that campaign, but this allows you to get a gauge on the campaign. So hopefully that has been of value to you. If we just head back to the campaigns area, I'm going to go over a few things, just general admin, general and maintenance of your Salesforce system. This applies to every single object inside of your Salesforce system. So we have the search this list, so that allows us to search for a record on this list. So obviously we've got the recently viewed list. If we change that to all active campaigns and then we search this list, then we can search for a specific campaign. We've also got the cog, and then we can create a new list, clone a list, rename a list, sharing settings, edit list filters, select fields to display and delete. Now remember, this list is essentially views, so you can go ahead and create and edit your own lists if you would like to. We've got the display as view. We can refresh the page if we would like to. We've got this pencil button here, so if I just go over to my recently viewed, press the pencil button, this allows us to edit certain information. So we just hover over. I'm sure you've seen this throughout this video. And then we've got some charts and filter options. But if I head back to, let's say, our accounts area, I'm going to change the view to our table view. You'll see we've got chart options where we can create our own charts. So accounts by industry. So as you can see, we've got 11 accounts not specified in industry. We've got 1 in insurance, 2 in retail, 3 in apparel, and you can collect certain data and you can create your own views and charts as well. And then we can filter, so we can filter out certain information. So we can essentially say, if account type equals prospect, do not show, or if account type equals freelancer, show that particular information. So you can create and or filter views if you would like to. I'm not going to go into that too much detail. That would take a lot of time to discuss in this video. So hopefully you are familiar with what I have covered in this video. Just as a recap, we've got home, which is obviously your dashboards. We've got leads, which is a dumping ground to collect data and then convert them to your accounts, which are businesses, contacts, which are people, and opportunities, which are sales. And then we have cases, which is customer support, case management, case resolution. We've got tasks, which is obviously exactly what it says on the tin, as is calendar. And then we've got the reporting function where we can generate reports on data inside of our Salesforce system. We've got dashboards where we can visualize that data inside of our Salesforce system. And then we've got the marketing campaigns as well. Now, you may not see some of this information. It may be set up slightly differently. So if you go to the very end here, you'll have a pencil button. Go ahead and click that, and then go to add more items. We can also change the position of the navigation menu, as you can see. So if I want to bring my campaigns to the very front, I can just go ahead and drag it and drop it and move it up or down accordingly. But we can add additional items. Now, items are obviously objects inside of your Salesforce system. So like I said earlier, when we were going through the cases, we have got the knowledge. So we can add the knowledge base to our homepage if you would like to. You just press the plus button and then you can drag it and drop it and position it. So there are some things that I've covered that are not traditionally in the navigation bar list. I've added everything I think would be most applicable for this video, in my opinion anyway. There are some things that I've missed out on, but they're usually quite simple, or they're stuff you wouldn't necessarily use. So hopefully I've covered everything and you are far more familiar with the Salesforce system. Just before I end the video, there are a few additional things I want to discuss. We have got the favorites list up the top here, and we can add a favorite. So we can go ahead and favorite accounts, and then you can see the drop down menu has been favorited. We can go ahead and click on a particular account, favorite that account, so then you can see that CRM Crew is a favorite account. You can create a list. This would be great for opportunities, and then you can go ahead and jump to that information immediately, and you just get a long list here. So then I can unfavorite it, go over to an opportunities area, click on the CRM Crew opportunity, and I can favorite that opportunity if I would like to. So that's the favorite. We can also use the plus button, which essentially allows us to just quickly create a new task, new event, new contact, new opportunity, new case, new lead, etc. So as opposed to clicking around the system, we can quickly do it. It's like a global action thing. We've got in-app help. Hopefully you're not going to need that. We've got the cog, which is the basic sales setup, then the setup area of your Salesforce system. We've got notifications. So obviously, if you're getting notifications such as the chatter notifications, you can go ahead and manage those there, and anything else. And then you go ahead and you can select on your profile as well to view your profile. Now, hopefully that has covered everything inside of the Salesforce system that you need to know. One final thing I want to add that I actually had forgotten about was the notes area. If you go to the bottom of any screen on your Salesforce system, you can go ahead and create a quick note if that is of any use to you. You can see reply to latest tweets. You can just create a new note. Just give it a header, example note. This is a note about a note. There we go, and you can go ahead and associate it with add it to records if you would like to. You can delete it, share it, or just press the done button and you can see your notes. You can click on it and you can do whatever you'd like to do with your notes inside of your Salesforce system. Hopefully this video has actually been of value. Like I said at the start of the video, if you need any help setting up or training on your Salesforce system, please feel free to get in touch. And I'll see you shortly in a moment's time. Hopefully you are now all set to begin using the Salesforce CRM system to its full potential, and you can use each of the features inside of the system with ease. If you have enjoyed the video or found it at all useful, please consider giving it a like, possibly even subscribing. If you have any questions at all, you are more than welcome to drop a comment below, or you can email me, as my details are in the description below, and I will do my best to answer any questions you do have. If you would like any help with setting up your Salesforce system or any training, like I said at the start of the video, please check out my website below. We'd be delighted to help. So thank you ever so much for watching, and I will hopefully see you shortly in the next video. Thank you and goodbye.